tragic accidents just happen all the time in Carroll County. I'm just saying. It's a very, very unlucky place to live. They dropped the charges because it was accidental. You don't accidentally run over somebody and back up and try to do it again. Jeez. Let's start from the beginning as investigative reporters, right? So you would ask the questions who, what, where, when, and why. Should be easy, right? Of course it is. Yes, I know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but what good does that do you if you are not alive?
Well, hello, I'm back. Where'd y'all go? You said start a new stream. Okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I did. I started 2 more streams. Y'all are thoroughly confused and my YouTube page is now a big hot mess. I'm going to have to go delete a lot of stuff. Like, look, I don't know. I don't know what Evie Mux is doing. I honestly am at the point where I feel like I just need to go back. Hello, Laura. I'm glad somebody's here. Yeah, the Delphi debacle. I'm just looking for all kind of words. that came up in a stream one night. It might have been a members only where people would just put in all kind of stuff that started with a D and Delphi. Delulu, delirium, debacle, whatever. Hello, Mythical, you're back. Yay. All right. So I know people are going to be coming in. I was actually in the middle of the Daybell thing when one of my viewers said, hey, new docs dropped. And I looked for them immediately, but I couldn't see them. I don't know. I couldn't find them. But shout out to Sleuthy Goosey, who always is so good about putting stuff on X. And so I grabbed it. Sleuthy, if you hear this, I love you. Yeah, so we're going to go over this craziness. It's 13 pages. Jeez. I know everybody's going to be covering it tonight, so some of y'all are on the replay. That's okay. You can hear my opinions. I have not read it. I have not read any of it. So, I just scrolled down to see how long it was, and I could tell, okay, this is gonna open some questions and some discussion. So, I'm here for it. I'm here for the Delphi drama. I hope it ends. I hope it ends soon with a resolution we can all live with. What about that? For the people who think he's, 100% guilty, if he's exonerated, I hope you understand why and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. For those people who think he's 100% innocent if he's found guilty, I hope you are like, oh, well, I didn't know about that evidence and I believe it. Delphi dysfunction. That's about it. If you are a follower or a sleuther or if you watch Delphi, you will see how dysfunctional it is. We're all dysfunctional. All right. So I am going to go over and pull this bad boy up. Yeah. Let's see if I can see. I'm going to try to read this without glasses. So let me go into full screen. Now, you know what? I'm not going to see your comments, but I will stop periodically and address it, because you know what? Nobody can read all this in one. You should have seen me trying to read the Frank's motion. Dear God. All right, so here we go. Motion to suppress the accused second statement. I can't even remember what the first statement was. The second, I don't know. let's jump on in. Comes now the accused Richard Allen by and through counsel and moves this court to suppress all statements from his October 26, 2022 interrogation at the hands of law enforcement Jerry Holman, who failed. Oh crap. Y'all. He failed to read Rick Allen his Miranda rights. Oh my God. Wow. What about, oh my God. Y'all probably already seen somebody else react to this who's reading it before me. Holy moly. Like, do y'all know, like, that is the cardinal rule. You can't, without Miranda rights. Oh yeah, there's a big problem here. Definitely an appeal. Oh my God. Okay. He didn't read him his Miranda rights while yelling and swearing at Rick Allen. Wow. Lying to Rick Allen and attempting to intimidate Rick Allen behind a closed door in a tiny interrogation room at the Lafayette police post. Whoa. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh, I almost want to cuss. Additionally, a key portion of the videotaped interrogation provided to the defense is missing. Yes. We talked about missing tapes. God almighty. The missing portion of that video is the beginning of the interrogation when Miranda should have been read. Y'all, I'm just telling you. I mean, I would say 100% that Goal is going to strike this down. But here's the thing. Look, they're going to call for a mistrial. They're they've got so many reasons to appeal, and this should not even be admissible. You don't read somebody their Miranda rights. It's not admissible. Like, there was a huge Supreme Court case like decades ago, in which the person was clearly guilty, but they couldn't be prosecuted because the Miranda rights were not read. My God, what kind of officers are you? Oh my God. All right. Whew. I wasn't expecting that big of a bombshell in the first paragraph. Dang. The first interrogation. Number 1, law enforcement officers requested Rick Allen to appear at the Delphi police station to answer questions, and on October 13th, 2022, Allen voluntarily went to the station and sat down with police, thinking he was assisting them in solving the Delphi unalivings, since he had been on the trails earlier on that day that the victims disappeared. Rick wanted to help out any way he could, and that is clear in the video. This video was previously provided to the court on September 18th, 2023. Then, October 26th, the October 26th, 2017, oh my God, 2017 interview is being sent to the court overnight via certified mail for the court's review. All right. Let me pull this up. Jeez, already. Let me see. Let me look at y'all. So y'all don't seem like you don't seem like you're shocked. So you've already heard this. Look, you're getting my reactions on this one. 100%, because I'm like, geez. All right, number 2. The 2 officers that interviewed Rick Allen on that day were Tony Liggett, oh, surprise, and Steve Mullen, the dynamic duo. Rick was read his Miranda rights and signed an advisement of rights form, which is normal protocol for law enforcement before an interrogation begins. Okay. To this one he was. For the first roughly 3/4 of the interview, it is apparent from the interview Rick believed he was assisting the police in their investigation and search for those who unalived the victims in the Delphi case. However, eventually, when it became obvious that Liggett and Mullen were actually pointing the finger at Rick Allen as the unaliver, at one point in the interview, Rick said, "I don't want to be somebody's fall guy, and we're going to try to make pieces of a puzzle fit somewhere they don't fit so we can close this thing." Whoa, yeah, whoa, Rick. I'm not saying you guys. Please don't think I'm questioning your integrity. Never. Never. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, because you're in the room with them. You know, what you gonna say? You're crooked as crap? What are you doing? You trying to pull, yeah, I'm sure that was going through his head. Okay, so, he's not stupid here. He knows he knows what's up, y'all. However, when the Liggett and Mullen amped up, went the Liggett. You know what? Tony's always going to be known as the Liggett. Kind of like the Donald, the Liggett. The Liggett and Mullen amped up the intensity of their questioning, even positioning their bodies closer to Rick. That's not okay. Rick said the following: "It's over. I was perfectly fine. I was cooperating. I was going to give you my phone, and then, when you started reading all these documents, here's my thing is, I feel like you guys think I done this. So I'm done. You do what you need to do. It's your job. I understand that, but you better effing leave my reputation out of it." Woo. So you do what you need to do. And then, like I said, when you do find this guy, I'll expect the apology. Y'all think that's ever going to happen? No. Don't wait around, Rick. Don't put your life on hold for that. Rick then described how police were trying to ruin his reputation by accusing him of the murders. Oh, didn't mean to say that. Unalivings in public, even groping him as they patted him down in the street. Maybe they were groping his shoulder. Say it. Rick was expressing that the mere act of mentioning his name as a possible unaliver or patting him down on a public street as if he were a criminal would ruin his reputation and was greatly upsetting. Of course it is. Yeah. Liggett and Mullen, let me pull this up a little bit. Liggett and Mullen did read Rick Allen his Miranda rights before they began their interrogation, and additionally, Rick Allen was aware that he had freedom of movement as he, Rick, ultimately stood up and walked out of the interrogation room. However, at the end of the interview that turned into an aggressive interrogation, Rick made it clear that he no longer wanted to talk to law enforcement. Yeah, so you shouldn't have to, right? If you're not under arrest, that's what we see that in all these interrogations. Within hours of the first interrogation, Liggett drafted an affidavit for search warrant. Judge Diener then signed the warrant to search Rick's home and vehicle. On that day, Rick Allen's vehicle was also seized. The defense will not be seeking this first interrogation to be suppressed. Well, no. Okay. The second interrogation. On October 13th, 2022, Kathy Allen, Rick's wife, and Rick Allen asked the state police when they could pick up their vehicle that had been seized. They were told that they could pick it up in a couple of days. On October 17th, 2022, either Kathy or Rick contacted the state police to determine how and when they could get their vehicle back that had been seized, as they were in need of that vehicle, as Kathy and Rick were having difficulty sharing only one vehicle as they worked in two different places and needed two vehicles. After a few phone calls with state police, finally on October 26th, Rick and Kathy were scheduled to arrive at the state police post in West Lafayette at 9 a.m. to pick up their vehicle. On October 26, 2022, Rick Allen drove Kathy to the West Lafayette Police Post to retrieve their vehicle that had been seized 13 days earlier by law enforcement. State police had told Rick and Kathy that upon arrival, their car would be released, but never mentioned anything about additional questioning. When Rick and Kathy arrived at the station, Holman, Jer, met them at the front and said he just had a few things he wanted to clear up before he released the vehicle. Holman requested Rick to follow him to the interrogation room without Kathy. Rick complied. Rick, you should have seen it coming. Kathy was not allowed to participate in the questioning. She was told she could wait in the lobby. Rick arrived with Holman into the interview room. However, for unknown reasons, the video provided to the defense is missing the beginning portion of the interview, when procedural matters are typically handled by law enforcement, such as the reading of Miranda, advisement of rights, and confirming with the suspect that he is free to leave if in fact the suspect is free to leave. Interesting. So they just think that they're there to pick up the vehicle, and they're like, I got a few more questions for you. Let's just clear some stuff up. You didn't read the Miranda. Oh my goodness. Oh my. You should have known better, Jer. But here we are. In this case, either A, the camera was only turned on after they, Holman and Rick, were already minutes into the interview, because the video provided to the defense does not show Holman and Rick entering the room, sitting down, and beginning the interrogation, or B, the camera was recording the entire time, but the beginning of the interview was later edited out before being turned over to the defense in February of 2024. Now, okay, I can see this could go either way, because look, we already know. Y'all have a thing about, recording and doing stuff correctly. All kind of videos just disappear. Poof. Poof. Anyway, that could have happened. You started the interview and oh, goof up. We don't even have it rolling. So now, without that, you can't prove that you did read him his rights. So you're kind of screwed, buddy. It's not on camera. Or, second scenario, also completely believable. You didn't read him his rights. You started the interview and you're like, when you look at it later, you're like, holy crap, this is a big problem. You know what? We're just going to edit that part out and say, oh, oopsie, we didn't start it till late. And it's a matter of your word against Holman's. Did you read the Miranda rights or not? You see how they play again, y'all. I would have so much less problem believing that there's corruption and that RA could potentially be innocent if it wasn't one thing after another. But it seems like any time that you want to hold the law enforcement or the ISP or whomever accountable, there's always a little snafu somewhere. How many? I've said this before. How many before we're just calling horse crap? Okay? We're not even feathers this time. Not even horse feathers. This is just BS from the top to the bottom. But let's go on. Either way, I'm getting all tore up. Either way, the beginning of the interaction between Holman and Rick in the interrogation room, when introductions are typically made and Miranda rights are always reviewed, is missing. Yeah. In the 70-plus years of experience between co-counsels, this is highly unusual, especially on a high-profile case of this nature. You think? The defense has not been provided with any report explaining this missing part of the video. What are they going to say? Yeah, we forgot to turn on the camera, boys. But believe us, trust us, the Miranda rights are on there. Yeah, we did it all proper. Or, yeah, we screwed up again. Like, I don't know what kind of defense. What are you gonna say? Let me take a break and look at your comments. Oh my God. Oh, you'll be home at 6. Okay. I don't even know what time it is. It might be. Okay, Grizz. Y'all just give me a second here. I will. Let me get back on Discord because I stopped the one stream and I started the other one. I don't know if you've seen Grizz uh the new docs from Delphi. I'm reading through them, and yeah, this is just my reaction. All right, so Grizz, you can when you can. I left you the link on Discord, and you can hop. You can hop up here. If I'm reading this, I might not see you for a minute. Okay. All right. Whew. Holy moly. Again, y'all obviously have seen this. I have not. I'm having a field day with this one. Oh my god, my god. This is more entertainment than a whole year of Netflix, y'all. No wonder I don't watch anything else. Like, look, Delphi. It has all the emotions. It has all the emotions. You don't need to watch anything else. Just watch the court documents. Okay, number 23. To make matters more suspicious. Oh, wow. Even more. Holman claims in his November 1st, 2022 report memorializing his October 26th interrogation of Rick Allen the following. I asked Mr. Allen if he remembered the other detectives reading him his Miranda rights, and he said yes. I told him he was free to go at any time and that the door was unlocked. Okay. So now Holman realizes, okay, this is me reading between the lines, okay? Holman realizes he screwed up. Yeah, you're a big screw up, Jer. And here's the problem. Now you realize that it's not there. So you're going to ask Mr. Allen, do you remember the detectives? Like, here's the thing. He's probably doing this. Do you remember? Keep nodding, Jer. Do you remember the other detectives reading your Miranda rights and telling you could go home? And he's probably like, yeah, yeah. Because you're not really thinking, right? Because, okay, at this point, right? At this point, you thought you were going in to help. You realize they're targeting you. You're all mad and flustered. They've had you, they've got your car. And now you're back. And okay, so now they're trying to do damage control. You're already mad. You're frustrated. You're confused. You don't understand how they could have possibly come up with you as the perpetrator. Did he really remember? I don't know. But here's the thing. If it's not on film, it's just your word against his. It didn't happen. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. And that's the way it is in my profession. I can know exactly what happened. But if I didn't write it down, I'm in court, it didn't happen. Not documented, it didn't happen. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens with that. Number 24, Holman's report doesn't identify who the other investigators are that purportedly reviewed Miranda with Rick. Oh. Holman's report doesn't identify. Okay, so he didn't say, do you remember when Officer A and Officer B read you your Miranda rights and told you could leave if you wanted to? Well, it's not in the report, just like the Purdue professor. Y'all, at what point are we just going to say Indiana is run by Keystone Cops? And I don't think they are. Here's the thing. I don't think they are. I don't. I think they're in this chain of command. I think we got a lot of crap going on. But that's allegedly. My opinion. Okay. Holman's report doesn't detail, who they are. Number 26, Holman's words quoted in paragraph 23 above appear nowhere on the video. In other words, Holman is not shown asking Rick Allen about his rights, nor is Holman viewed telling Rick Allen that he is free to leave. Again, not documented. It didn't happen. In his report, Holman indicates that those words were stated to Rick Allen at the very beginning of the interview. The beginning of the interview is missing. MIA. It's in cyberspace with their interview of Patrick Westphal and Brad Holder. What? Right. It's out there somewhere in the great beyond. Number 28, the defense has diligently searched through the discovery for any Miranda/waiver of rights form signed by Rick Allen on October 26, 2022. The defense has found none. So he never signed the paper. So after they read you your rights and you have to sign saying, yeah, I understand. This is all on the paper. I'm signing it. You read it. I've read it. I'm signing it. Makes those magic bullets just look a little bit iffy, in my opinion. The whole thing makes me question. Okay, this is where I've been the whole time on this case. Questioning. Because it doesn't make sense. People, give me something that makes sense. Number 29, the defense has diligently searched through the discovery for any reports by state troopers who were on duty that day, such as Jay Harper and David Vito, who would have potentially read Rick his Miranda rights on October 26, 2022. The defense has found no such reports. Okay. So you didn't do it in the office with the locals. You didn't do it by the state troopers. Again, it's not documented. What? It didn't happen. Even if it happened, it didn't happen. It's not documented. It didn't happen, right? Number 30, Justice Brad Holder's February 17th, 2017 interview is missing. Just as the mimicked crime scene found on Holder's social media page is missing and still has not been turned over to the defense, but the defense thankfully located in Georgia. And just as Rick's original taped statement to Dan Doolin in front of a grocery store in February 2017 is missing, the beginning portion of Holman's interview with Rick Allen is also missing. You know what? It boggles. I just have to stop for a second. It boggles the mind to me. How much stuff can be missing before? Look, how many? If he's found guilty, how many trials are we going to have? How many appeals are we going to have? This is just a hot mess. This is a hot mess of incompetence or cover-up, or both. Maybe it's both. Maybe y'all know what you're doing, and you're covering something up. It's definitely somewhere in there, in my opinion. Number 31. The defense has diligently searched through the discovery for audio or video by any law enforcement from October 26, 2022, in which it can be seen or heard that Rick Allen was read his Miranda rights or told that he was free to leave. The defense has found none. No audio, no video. No officers saying they did this. No paper signed by Rick Allen saying he was read his Miranda rights and he understood. No documentation of any kind, except the ceiling fairies who are witnesses to this great debacle. Put them on the stand. Let them testify. How about that? God, I gotta take a break. I'm dying over here. Tell me, what are your thoughts? Comment. Even though I can't see them half the time, I'm looking like comment. What are you thinking? Do you think? Let's take a quick poll. Was he read his Miranda rights or was he not? What do you think? Because I'm thinking this right here is the end. It should be. Okay. Here's the thing. If this truly cannot be proven that he was read his Miranda rights, this case should be thrown out. Because anything he said cannot be used as evidence. So if you don't even have Rick Allen saying, I was there on the bridge that day, even though he gave a different time, if you don't even have that for evidence, what you got? You got some science of some bullets, but you've screwed this case up so bad, it's like, it's very sus. All right. Man. I wasn't prepared for all this, y'all. I was just prepared for, me, more legal jargon, fighting. Wow. Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Number 32. Therefore, at this time it appears to the defense that Jerry Holman's claims in his report that Rick Allen was asked about his Miranda rights and told he was free to leave are false. Did y'all hear that? False. And that the key video evidence that would prove as much is missing. It's gone with the wind. I'll tell you where it is. You want to find it? It's buried with Jimmy Hoffa. There you go. Man, what a mess. Number 33. The following are true and accurate depictions of what occurred at Allen's October 26, 2022 interrogation, as shown on the videotape of said interrogation that was not missing or deleted, but was actually provided to the defense. Sorry, my cat. Hi, Sachi. Or come here. Come here, sit in my lap. Yeah, she made her debut earlier today. She's probably like, no autographs. I can't do this again. Okay. A. These are things that were actually provided to the defense. All right, let's see. What you got, defense? On video, Holman never read Rick Allen his Miranda rights, nor mentioned them to Rick Allen. Rick Allen was placed in a tiny, confined room without windows. Okay. I don't know what interrogation rooms normally look like, but I don't know. I don't usually see windows in the movies, but whatever. Rick Allen was placed in a tiny confined room and Holman shut the door. Rick Allen was placed in a tiny confined room with... The way this is written, y'all. Sorry. This is like the defense. It's kind of like, the little kid storybooks, like where they add a word. You turn the page and it's the same sentence. They add a word. Okay. Sorry. It's giving me those vibes. Sorry, defense. I know y'all are brilliant, but because this is... Okay, Rick Allen was placed in a tiny confined room with Jerry Holman while the door was shut. Okay. Holman shut the door. The door was shut. To me, that's redundant. Okay? It's redundant. But whatever. E. A considerable size difference existed between Rick Allen and Jerry Holman. Oh, for sure. For sure. Jerry. How tall is Jer? How tall are you, Jer? I don't know, but from the pictures I've seen, Jer is a pretty big guy. Rick Allen is not. F. A power differential existed as Holman was a state trooper in his home court, Lafayette Police Post, while Rick Allen was a CVS worker from Delphi who had only driven to West Lafayette to pick up a vehicle he and his wife needed for transportation. Well, yeah, because that's what you think you're there for, right? They said you can come get it in a couple of days. He shows up. He's a much smaller guy. He's in a closed room with this big state trooper. I can see where that would be intimidating. I don't know if that's a crime, but you just give this, it probably was a little intimidating. H. When Jerry Holman would leave the room, he told Rick Allen to sit tight at the 9:25 and 45:20 marks, or hang on 1 second at the 16:40 mark. In other words, Jerry Holman told Rick Allen that Allen, could not leave. I don't know. Do y'all consider that saying, if you're saying sit tight, hang on 1 second? Now, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. I don't feel like that was telling him he couldn't leave. All right, I disagree with that. Because if I really wanted to leave and somebody said sit tight and I'm waiting and you don't come back in 2 minutes, I'm like, you know what, deuces, I got stuff to do. I'm leaving. So I don't necessarily, I'm seeing what they're saying though. It was intimidating and he's like, oh, hold on, sit tight. Yeah, maybe. But it seems like Rick has got some fire in him from what we read previously. So I'm like, I don't know. Would he be intimidated by that? I don't know. J. Jerry Holman lied to Rick Allen during the interrogation several times, including the following. At the 7:10 mark, Jerry Holman told Rick Allen that we have experts that say that's you on the bridge and that's your voice on the video. There is no evidence that supports this statement. Jerry Holman lied to Rick Allen. Now, okay, no doubt, everything that we know about the video and the voice and all that, no doubt he lied to Rick Allen. Is that a crime? I mean, I don't, like, they kind of do that, don't they? No, we see that all the time. Like, they kind of, play good cop, bad cop, lie to you, tell you somebody, rolled on you and they confessed everything. And, like, so, yeah, you lied. Does it happen? Yep. I think that's pretty common. That's just my opinion. Oh, that was one. Okay. At the 15:25 mark, Holman told Rick Allen that experts are saying that's you on the video. And experts are saying you said down the hill. There is no evidence that supports this statement. Jerry Holman lied to Rick Allen. Okay. Again, we've established he's lying. Well, first of all, he reads you your rights, so there you go. At the 15:07 mark, Holman tells Rick that witnesses saw a gun in his pocket. There is no evidence that anyone claims to have seen a gun in Rick's pocket. Holman lied to Rick Allen. All right, so we, first of all, is anybody surprised? Because that whole PCA, if you look at, I don't know what's happening in my kitchen. It sounds like an avalanche. That whole PCA, if you're looking at the affidavits of Holman and all these other people, yeah, the whole PCA is a lie. The witnesses, the timeline, everything. So, I mean, are we surprised that they're lying? No. At the 39:05 mark, Holman states, if I'm not lying to you about anything, isn't that just like a liar? Let me tell you something. It's not true of everybody, okay? It's not. Some people say it and they really mean it. But when somebody tells me, trust me, and they say it a lot, the first thing I think is, no, you're saying it too much. You're trying to get me to trust you. That's just my take. Now, like I said, it's not 100% across the board. Some people are very sincere. But it is something that I have noticed with people in general. Don't say trust me too much. I'm not gonna. And here's the reason right here. See? Holman says, I'm not lying to you about anything. Everything I'm telling you is fact. The experts say you said go down the hill. It was a lie. Am I upset? No. Because, I figured as much. Are they going to lie and try to get you to confess to something? Of course they are. It's the way it goes. So he was lying about many things, and not everything Holman told Rick was a fact. Okay, I'm not shook. I'm not shook. At the 42:33 mark, Holman said, I'm not lying to you, Rick. That's unethical." Oh, oh my God, y'all, that's going to be a new course at Purdue. Ethics. Y'all remember Judge Fouts? God. He taught ethics at Purdue, right? The one person on the planet that had none. But now, Holman, you can take a Saturday course in ethics with Jerry Holman. I don't want to take that class. All right. Y'all, this is more entertainment than I've had in a month. Okay, Jerry Holman told Rick Allen in what was supposed to be an exploratory interview, the prosecutor and the other investigators, they want to see you, lock you up, and throw away the key. Okay. But I'm your friend, Rick. I'm not lying to you. It's the bad old prosecutor. It's that bad old Nick. He wants to lock you up and throw away the key. You talk to me. I'm your friend. I wouldn't lie to you. Would I, Rick? Sorry. All right, L. Jerry Holman barked. Barked at Rick Allen in what was supposed to be an exploratory interview. If you don't tell me, you're going down for this. You know what? I gotta give it. I gotta give a props to Baldwin and Rozzy. They write even for the legal stuff. They make it so good. You make it so good. I just kind of want to follow every case y'all do. Oh man, he barked. But basically, yeah, he says, if you don't tell me, you're going down. Okay, well, I thought you were my friend. I thought you weren't lying. Now you're intimidating me. What? Okay. Jerry Holman told Rick Allen in what was supposed to be an exploratory interview, do you realize the death penalty is on the table for this? Doesn't surprise me. Is it intimidation? Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I do think it is to a degree. I'm sure it happens a lot, though. At various times, Jerry Holman yelled at Rick Allen, including using profanity-laced language while accusing Rick Allen of the red rums. Are you supposed to do that? I don't know. Are you allowed to do that? I think probably a lot of police officers, and I'm just saying the nature of the job leads to that, but I'm thinking you're not supposed to do that. At least the police interviews that I have seen on, like, Court TV and all these other things that show the whole interview, I have not observed officers really doing that. Like cussing them and yelling at them. They're usually asking questions and leading them and playing nice guy more. Maybe that's not the way Holman does it. All right. Rick Allen asked Holman to stop the interview. Rick said, I'm done. Early into the interrogation at the 12:05 mark. Whoa. Okay. So Rick Allen asked Holman to stop the interview. Rick said, I'm done. I'm done. At 12:05? And yet this thing rocks on and on and on. But Holman continued his interrogation. At that point, Rick, I don't know if he tried to get up. He should have just got it and walked out the room. It probably wouldn't have made a difference in the long run, but matter of principle, if you said I'm done, you should have walked out or made them arrest you. The state police never turned over the vehicle to Kathy Allen after Rick Allen was arrested. Returning the vehicle to Rick and Kathy was merely a subterfuge to get Rick to the police post to be interrogated. Of course it was. Of course it was. You probably could have seen that. Okay, the law. The Indiana Supreme Court dealt with a very similar fact pattern in State versus ER 123 Northeast 3rd, 675, 2019, which reversed the Indiana Appellate Court holding that ER's constitutional rights had been violating, therefore suppressing his statements. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, man, if you don't know how important Miranda is, you need to check it out. You need it, like, it is the one thing. That's why a lot of policemen, like in their vests and somewhere in their wallets, whatever they've got on, a lot of times they'll keep that card. You can get a little tiny card and it's got the Miranda rights on it. They're not that long. It doesn't take that long. But they know they have to. Because if you're on body cam or you're in it, like any time that you're doing this, you have to read the person their Miranda rights. Or anything like obtained, it's not admissible. Okay? It's huge. In State versus ER, the accused had voluntarily driven to the police station at the request of the police to answer questions concerning an allegation of inappropriate touching. So when he was groping, is this talking about, okay, hope this doesn't get weird, y'all, because I don't want any weird. Are they talking about when they were groping Rick Allen? Where were they groping him at? Inappropriate touching, because I mean, appropriate touching would be like maybe shoulder, arm, if you're gonna turn somebody around, if you're gonna, I don't know. I don't know what's inappropriate. I mean, if I'm sitting there being interrogated, if I'm in one of those rooms, and even if a police officer is very nice, but I'm sitting there and he reaches over and pats my arm, I'm gonna be like, "Sir, remove your hand. I'm not your buddy." And outside, where, you know what? Just leads me to questions. Just saying, you gotta ask, because they brought it up. They brought it up. Inappropriate touching in this State versus ER. Okay, let's see. Maybe they'll explain it. I don't know. In this case, Allen voluntarily arrived at the station to pick up a vehicle, but unlike ER, Allen was unaware that he would be asked questions once he arrived at the Lafayette police post. Okay. The following occurred when ER was interrogated compared to when Rick Allen was interrogated. Okay, good. This is going to be interesting. ER was interrogated in a small windowless room. Rick Allen was interrogated in a small windowless room. Again, I don't know if you like. I don't know. Is that a law that you? I'm be honest with you. I don't know. Do you have to have a window? Law enforcement officers failed to provide Miranda warnings to ER. Video shows that Holman failed to provide Rick Allen his Miranda warnings. Okay, 2 for 2 right here. ER and RA. Multiple times, law enforcement told ER to sit tight. On multiple occasions, Holman told Rick Allen to sit tight when Holman, would leave the interrogation room. Very interesting. All right, let me stop here and see. Let me see what everybody's saying. Let me see if I can get Grizz in the chat. Is he anywhere? He might not be home yet. Okay. Annalisa, the defense always has to go a few sentences into drama. It is true. I think they hired a cheap creative writer. You know, I will say yes, and they definitely have some creativity, no doubt. No doubt. But what I will say is it is a lot more entertaining than most court documents. I kind of get excited when the defense puts something out. I'm like, oh, goody, let me get a cup of tea. Let me read this. This is going to be fun. Okay, I thought leaving a suspect alone in a videoed interrogation room was standard practice. Yeah, I thought so too. Remember Jodi Arias doing headstands and singing and stuff? Yeah. And Lori Vallow, she was sitting there cross-legged and all kind of, anyway. Yeah, she was also left alone. I saw that. That was crazy. Her interrogation was crazy. Um, so yeah, it's normally I thought that was normal too. Um Holman must have taken that course. Ethics. Is that what we're talking about? There you go. That explains it. Old Jer took Judge Fout's course in ethics at Purdue. I think you're right. Yeah. Okay, they're setting up the amount of intimidation. Yeah, I agree. All right. I wish somebody could ring a bell because I can't see when if Grizz comes in. But anyway, let's keep going. All right. Let's see. I think we're at D. In ER's interrogation, law enforcement actually told ER that he, ER, was able to walk out of the interrogation room door if he wanted. ER was also told that he, ER, that's anyway, did not have to even talk to law enforcement if he didn't want to. Still, the Indiana Supreme Court found that even with those particular statements by law enforcement to ER, it was not enough to cause ER to feel free to leave. Okay, so even though they told him he could walk out, he still felt somewhat intimidated because it was LE. I get that. I get that. Knowing what I know now, though, if I was ever interrogated and unless they told me I couldn't leave, I'd get up and walk out the door. Peace out. Contrast ER's interrogation with Rick Allen's interrogation. On video, Jerry Holman never told Rick Allen that he was free to leave, nor did Jerry Holman ever tell Rick that Rick, did not have to talk to law enforcement. Yeah, that is a problem. Especially when you don't have your right. And you come in there, you don't know it's an interrogation. You're not you are not read rights that can be proven in any way, shape, or form. So you're just sitting there and yeah. Because you have to wonder what's going to happen if I get up and walk out of here. Am I going to have a accident down the stairs? I'm not saying that they would do that. I'm just saying these kind of thoughts have to go through your head, right? E. In ER, the police significantly undercut any initial message of freedom when they dramatically changed the interrogation atmosphere. Fear. When a second officer entered the room and became more aggressive. So there's a second one. Although there was only one officer involved, Holman, that officer started the interrogation in a much calmer manner before amping up the intensity, ultimately erupting with cursing and yelling at Rick Allen. Yeah. So, I mean, if you start out calm, like we're just going to talk, just sit down, buddy. Let's have a little chit chat before you get your car. And then it ends with you cussing, screaming, threatening, saying, the death penalty is on the table. Yeah, that is intimidation. The officers did not tell ER that he, ER, wasn't under arrest. Holman never told Rick Allen that he wasn't under arrest. In fact, when Rick Allen continually denied having anything to do with the red rums, as well as words to the effect that Holman had made up his mind, so go ahead and arrest me. Holman never told Rick, you are not under arrest. So Rick said, oh, go ahead, arrest me, buddy. I could see me saying that as well. Police never told ER that he could end the interrogation at any time. Holman never told Rick Allen that he could end the interrogation at any time. The officers repeatedly told ER to explain what happened, coaxing? Are they trying to say coercing? What is a coax? The only coax I know goes on a cable. Anyway, coaxing him to tell us now so that we know that you're being honest with us and not lying. Okay, so they told ER, tell us now so we know that you're being honest and not lying. Okay, got it. Holman repeatedly told Rick Allen to explain what happened and attempted to coax Rick Allen to talk to him for a variety of reasons. Okay, so pretty much the same situation. I have to look up coax. I don't really know. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but I don't exactly have a good definition, like that word. All right. Let's see. In ER, the officers were explicit that they believed ER had engaged in the accused conduct and that their questions were accusatory, not exploratory. Okay. So in ER's case, they were saying, oh, yeah, we think you're guilty and we're not just exploring the options and asking you questions. We're accusing you. Okay. Throughout the interrogation, Holman explicitly told Rick Allen that he, Holman, the prosecutor, and other law enforcement officers all believed that Rick Allen had engaged in the accused conduct, red rum, and Holman's questions throughout the entire interrogation were accusatory, not exploratory. Okay. So yeah, they're already, yeah. Included in the videotaped interrogation are the following exchanges that highlight the accusatory, not exploratory nature of Holman's interrogation of Rick Allen. Oh, we get the real thing now. We get the transcript. Really kind of wished I had someone to read this with me. I have to be all the characters. I don't know. Hello, Christy. All right. I guess I get to be, it's a one-woman show. And I don't have a voice. Okay. I'm not changing voices, y'all. I've been talking too much today to do that. All right, let's go. Old Jer says, you're going to drag your effing wife and your daughter through this because you're too effing bullheaded to get out in front of this and admit you made a mistake. And whatever the F happened out there, we'll never effing know because you're too big of an effing F. I don't know. I'm making up stuff now. Wow. That's pretty aggressive. He also says, the evidence clearly indicates that you are involved in this. Rick Allen says, nope. Jer, it effing does. Rick Allen, it doesn't. I'm telling you that there is no way that a bullet from my gun was used in these red rums. Jer says, and I'm telling you that we had this effing round on February 14th, 2017, and it's been secured in an effing laboratory, and we've tested other guns. Rick, you could have taken it from somewhere else then, because it's not possible. Jer, I did not take it from somewhere else. It was logged in. It was taken. It was photographed. You think we effing took around and threw it down by the unalive girl's foot? This ain't effing TV. This is realistic. Is anything about Delphi realistic? I mean, I'm just saying. Jeez. Rick says, and I'm telling you, I can't explain something that... And I'm telling you that effing analysts can explain it. You can't get past this. Jerry says, I'm not on video. Rick, neither am I. Jer, 4 or 5 witnesses didn't see me out there. Rick, me either. Jer, my round of my gun wasn't 6 inches away from an unalive girl. Rick, mine either. Rick's a little bit feisty, ain't he? We never knew this about Rick. Jer, I don't think you're a bad person. Rick, what kind of a good person unalives 2 people? You're going to pay for what you've done to my wife. This is Rick. You're going to pay for what you've done to my wife. You want to F with me? F with me. But you leave my wife out of this. F. Leave me out of this. Jer, No, you're involved in this. Your effing around is in there. Is there, Rick? No, it's not. Jer, you're guilty of something. You're guilty, and I know it, and I'm going to effing prove it. That was quite an exchange, wasn't it? Jer likes that F-bomb. I don't blame Rick, though. Like, look, what is he supposed to say? Police questioning of ER was prolonged, lasting almost an hour. The questioning was sustained and relatively drawn out, especially compared to roadside traffic stop questioning. Holman's questioning of Rick Allen was nearly 3 times longer than law enforcement questioned ER. Holman's prolonged questioning lasted 2 hours and 41 minutes. Okay, that's not a questioning, that's an interrogation. 2 hours and 41 minutes. Of course, that represents the length of the questioning that was actually videotaped. Since there is missing videotape, the entire length of questioning is unknown. The questioning was sustained and drawn out over that time, especially when compared to roadside traffic stop questioning. Well, I'll say it is. All right, the officers continued interrogation of ER past the time he was supposed to pick up his daughter. Rick went to the station to pick up his vehicle, but Holman never mentioned anything about where or how Rick or his wife were to pick up the car. Of course not, because it was a ruse, right? At the conclusion of the interrogation, ER was allowed to leave and return home. This fact is mentioned in the Court of Appeals opinion, but not the Supreme Court opinion. Okay, the conclusion of this, he was allowed to leave. Okay. Rick Allen was not free to leave, as he was handcuffed and arrested on camera after 2 hours and 40 minutes of denying involvement in the red rums. So you got nothing? Okay, wait. All right, let me think on this. So you interviewed him, you interrogated him for 2 hours and 41 minutes, but you didn't get any information out of him. What the heck did you arrest him on? Like, he didn't confess. I don't understand. Oops. All right. I get a fluff. I'm all discombobulated. Hold on, let me see what y'all are saying. Let's see. Annalise said, yeah. Yeah, guilty of something. You're guilty of something. We don't know what you're guilty of, but you're guilty of something, and buddy, you're going down for it. We know you're guilty of something. Jeez. That's crazy, right? All right. 2 hours and 41 minutes. And 40 minutes before he's arrested. Okay. The facts involving Holman's handling of Rick Allen's interrogation are more egregious than those facts in ER in several ways. For example, the Indiana Supreme Court found that ER's constitutional rights had been violated even when ER had been allowed to leave the police station. While in the case at hand, Holman knew the entire time that he was interrogating Rick Allen that at the end of the interview, he would be arresting Rick Allen, as Allen did not make any statements to Holman that were not already known. The entire interview was Holman accusing and Rick denying. Wow. Okay. Law enforcement clearly knew ahead of Rick Allen's interrogation that they would be arresting Allen for the crime. However, rather than arrest Allen at his home or work or after pulling him over, Holman waited until he had one more opportunity to interrogate Rick Allen without Miranda. Okay. So they already knew they were going to arrest him, and they didn't want to arrest him at home or work or after they pulled him over. So they created a circumstance by which he would have to come in, and they interrogated him without Miranda. Because remember, no matter what, it's not documented, it didn't happen. It's not documented on video, audio, or by paper. It didn't happen. Even if it did happen to happen, it didn't happen. Okay? No Miranda. So that's why I'm saying no matter what happened, there was no Miranda. Okay. Holman knew that Rick had walked out of the October 13th, 2022 interrogation with Mullen and Liggett, the Liggett. Remember? The Liggett. And therefore, it was unlikely that Rick would answer any more questions with Holman unless Rick felt like he was not allowed to leave. Miranda would be a nuisance that would likely cause Rick to walk out on Holman that way, the way that Rick walked out on Liggett and Mullen. If so, Holman would not be able to secure a confession that Holman, clearly wanted to secure on his own. Okay, yeah. So if you bring him in there and he doesn't know he's being interrogated, but you're planning to arrest him, as soon as you read him his Miranda rights, and you have the right to remain silent, you have right to attorney, stuff like that. Yeah, Rick's gonna walk out, and he's gonna say, "Yeah, buddy, I ain't saying nothing till I get an attorney present. See ya." As he should. As should anybody, okay? According to State versus ER, a defendant is required to show by a preponderance of the evidence that he was subjected to custodial interrogation, being held. The videotaped interrogation of Rick Allen shows by a preponderance of the evidence that Rick Allen was subjected to a custodial interrogation. Okay, because he was in the room with Holman. Also, Holman kept saying, "Hold on, wait, sit tight, whatever, stay here." So that does kind of set custodial. Additionally, the defendant is required to allege custodial interrogation in the absence of Miranda warnings. Okay, the defendant is required to allege custodial. Okay. The videotaped interrogation of Rick Allen shows that Holman did not provide Rick Allen with Miranda warnings and then subjected Rick Allen to custodial interrogation. Yeah, it ain't looking good, Jared. It ain't looking good. Furthermore, ER is required to point to some evidence that his statements were made in violation of his constitutional rights. The videotape statement of Rick Allen provides a whole host of evidence. A whole host. As detailed herein, that statements made by Rick Allen on the day in question violated both his state and federal constitutional rights against self-incrimination. Wherefore, the accused Rick Allen requests this court to suppress all statements made by Rick Allen at his October 26, 2022 interrogation, and to issue a finding that Jerry Holman and the state police violated Rick Allen's constitutional rights. Whoa. Yeah. There you go. There you have it. Woo. And do I think it's going to go anywhere? Well, it should. That's, Miranda is like the big bomb. You don't do Miranda, they walk. Do I think somehow this is going to get passed by? Okay. Well, if you can't use any of that evidence, well, you just think about it. Okay. If you can't use any of that evidence for, because you didn't read him his rights, any statement that he made in which he didn't have his rights read, I mean, it doesn't appear that he said anything incriminating. It appears to me that he was arguing. But you can't use any of that crap. So what happens to the PCA? What happens to everything? Like your whole case is, poof. If you want to go by legal, if you want to be on the up and up, if you want to go by legal standards, I mean, it's the same thing as what went to the Supreme Court a few months ago, back in January. Judge Cole, you can't do that. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, I think that the Franks motion that was never heard, they did like 3 motions for the Franks motion, and I think they had, whether you like it or not, I think they had very valid points that they should have a Franks motion. Now they're going on Miranda like, what the crap, y'all? What kind of officer doesn't read you your rights? Man, this is, it's not what I expected. I don't know. Maybe y'all. I've had my head everywhere else in the last month besides Delphi. So maybe y'all saw this coming. Maybe it's in the secret Reddit, Facebook, Discord groups. Some of y'all may have known this was coming. I did not. I did not. Look, here's the thing. I'll tell you 100%, 100,000%. Unless Rick Allen is found innocent at trial, we're just going to be doing this for years and years. It's going to be appeal after appeal, and they have very, very valid reasons to appeal this case. So many. Wow. Let me go back to what y'all are saying. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, definitely on the list for the appeals court. No doubt. No doubt. All right. Yeah, Holman mucked up. He sure did. I bet that's the interrogation where he provided statements about the weapon. Yeah, it probably is. Wow. Well, there you go. Jeez. That was my dramatic reading. My semi-dramatic reading of that. That's very interesting, though. I've never gotten on a live and read one of the documents without having at least skimmed it and read it and have a good working idea of what was coming up. I'm telling you though, I'm pretty excited that it happened this way, because that was my honest to God reaction of reading this stuff. Like, holy Moses, what the crap! You didn't even read him as Miranda rights. Oh my God. What kind of dog and pony show is this going to be? Yeah. My opinion, not that anybody's listening, but my opinion is they should toss everything that Rick Allen said. No Miranda. They wouldn't have, if they don't have what he said, no Miranda, intimidation. Besides the fact that he could probably prosecute them, but they should throw it all out. And then what you have left, you have a bullet that you found. We don't know when. We don't really, never seen no chain of custody or anything. Never been mentioned in any other search warrant or anything. You got some affidavits that are wrong, the timeline that's wrong, but it doesn't even matter if the timeline's wrong, because anything that Rick Allen said should be thrown out, right? Without his statement, you got nothing. But some guy that lives in Delphi has the same kind of gun. A bullet was found there, but you can't prove it actually 100% came from that gun. He just happens to live there. You got some witnesses that say their description isn't Rick Allen. What you got? Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to wind this up. Michelle, anyway, thank you so much. Because I know there's a ton of stuff. I'm probably going to jump on and watch some other people's reactions to this. Wow. We may find that Miranda was given at a later point and that RA continued talking. Defense tends to tell part of the story, but never all of it. If we do, okay? Yeah, if we do, that would be interesting. The thing of it is, I know the defense is dramatic, and I find them very entertaining. But to put this in a motion for court, if there is a paper that has, if he signed the paper, if they have a video of it, to take something like this for a motion, like they're just going to be, if that's not true, they're going to look like total idiots. So I'm going to say there is not a video. There's not a video of a lot of things. That's just my opinion. I guess we'll find out. But I wouldn't think that they would go this far for the drama, knowing it's easily disproved. Actually, that would cause some more legal problems. You can't, unless you're Holman or some of the others, you can't get up and lie in a legal document, especially a motion like that, and that's easily proved wrong without that would be gross misconduct, in my opinion, if that is true. And they know, if the defense did that and they know that it's not true, that is absolutely gross negligence and misconduct. So, going on that, I would say that is not true. All right. If you're catching this on the replay, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about all of this craziness. Craziness at Delphi. Whew, that took it out of me. All right. I appreciate all of you so much for being in here, whether you agree or not. As long as you're respectful, I don't care. Please come in. Stay safe out there, y'all. It's a crazy world. And whatever you do, just stay silky. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.